What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 7 of the PS Now Reviewathon, now in breathtakingly stunning 1080p. Let's just take a minute, enjoy all these beautiful pixels. Wow, that was pretty nice, huh? Our game for today is ADR1FT, which I'll be taking the creative liberty from here on out to call Adrift. Hopefully the developers are okay with that. Adrift puts you in the bulky spacesuit of Alex Oshima, the commander of a space station that has had a rough go of things lately. And in all honesty, Adrift is a great game to be the first one that I figured out how to get all these sweet-ass pixels, because this game looks great. I mean, one of the views that it gives you of Earth while you're floating around in space is my new PlayStation background. The destruction of the space station is like hauntingly beautiful, and the game never really stops being a treat to look at. That is, of course, when you're outside. The interior of the space stations are all very clean, white-walled. They look like they should to be a space station, but unfortunately when you're playing a game, that makes it all look kind of samey. And there was quite a few times where I was floating around where I was like, have I been here before? And I hadn't, but because it's just like a room with doors on the side, it's really hard to tell sometimes. But there are still some really nice environmental things, like all this garbage that floats around because the space station's in 40 pieces, and these amazing water droplet effects that they have that are just flipping cool, man. Also flipping cool is the sound design. The environmental sounds are very low-key because you're in the vacuum of space. You can't hear very much, so that makes sense. The voice acting is great. All the actors deliver their lines very well and really do, I think, nail the emotions that they should be feeling based on what they're talking about. And the sounds of your suit struggling to keep you alive are perfect and really add to the level of tension overall. The sound Alex makes when you start to run low on oxygen is like, makes you pucker your butthole a bit, and it's really nice. Biggest letdown, though, for me has got to be the story. Let me give you a little example of what I mean. There's one part pretty early on in the game where the AI that talks to you in your helmet starts kind of glitch out and sound a little like demented and sound a little fucked up. And I was like, oh man, is this about to be a Space Odyssey thing where the AI is the one that totally destroyed this space station? And like, it's going to lead me into like doing some shit I don't want to do, and I got to take control of the AI and it's going to be awesome. But then like, it never comes up again. Like, from then on out, the AI sounds fine for the rest of the time, and it's such a letdown, really. I mean, overall, the first hour of Adrift is great, because the mystery of why the space station is tits up, or what happened to the rest of your crew, and the tension of your suit being all busted up, it's great, and it adds to a whole layer of like an amazing, immersive, fucked up in space situation. And then you start fixing your suit so there's no more tension, and then it drags on so much in that middle like 4 hours or so of this game where you're just doing the same shit over and over for this 4 hours. Like, take a look at this screen right here. Like, get used to that, because that's the whole game. You got to fix these 4 stations within the substation to get yourself into an escape pod and leave, and that's all you do. The 4 of them are exactly the same, and it's so poorly designed and paced, and it sucks because the last like hour of the game is also fantastic because it throws this twist at you that I didn't see coming, and it's like it lets you kind of deal with that for a bit, and then that last hour is you know getting ready to leave, and so the whole thing just comes together really well, but it doesn't feel rewarding because for the 4 hours before that, you're not doing anything, and it's so like frustrating because the payout is completely out of there. And so I mentioned voice acting, and it's not from actual characters, it's from these audio logs that you pick up, and the audio logs are good because it adds to this whole story of the crew, but that story of the crew never ties in completely to the overarching story. So, like, it doesn't matter that you have all these audio logs because, like, yeah, I know all these crew members, but why do I need to know them? Because they're not around anymore, you know, and I'm just trying to leave. So it's so frustrating to me. And it's sucks because this was published by the same people that published Abzu, which I reviewed about 2 weeks ago, and I really liked Abzu because it kind of subverted my expectations of games like this, where it's not about the gameplay, it's about the story. And I was like, well, shit, I got to give these some time now. But now that I've played through Adrift, I'm like, I don't know, man. It's more of the same, and it's kind of bringing me down a little bit, man, which is a total drag. I'm going to be giving Adrift a 1.5 out of 5 stars. While it is a beautiful game, it sounds great, and the story is good on the personal level, the moment-to-moment gameplay and the pacing and all that stuff really drags it down, in my opinion. And that's all I got for you this time. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you again.